All right. Good morning, Amy Jenkins. Morning, Mark G.
Good morning.
Let's see. Good morning, buddy. Good morning, Luke. Luke. Let's see. Good morning, Alex. Let's see. Look forward to keeping that string alive, Alex. Thanks for responding back to me yesterday. Much appreciated. Good morning, Hillier. Let's see. Good morning, Ramon.
Good morning.
Good morning, Renee. Good morning, buddy. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Christy. Amy, I don't know if you heard me, but I said good morning. Let's see. Kaylee. Good morning. It's Eves. Congratulations on your first week, by the way. You came right back this week and doing the same thing. That's awesome. Congratulations. Let's see. Mariana, good morning. Make sure I don't miss anybody.
Good morning.
Ramon. Good morning. Ryan, good morning. Good to see you on. Ryan V, I believe. Let's see. Bilo,
yes. Good morning.
Good to see you on, man. Welcome. Bilo, you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting to see like the top of your car or the ceiling of your house or something.
Oh, here in a second,
morning,
you
my
will.
friend. There it is. Yes, that's the Bilo I know and love. The top of your house or your car. All right, good to see you, buddy. Good morning, guys. All right, so I'll go through, let the people that are just getting on. So thank you guys for joining this morning. For those of you guys that I haven't met, because there's a couple of you guys on here, I'm Corey Williams, president of Family First Life Genesis, and excited to have, we got 15 people on here that are looking to build their team and help some other people change their lives. And we got some other people on here that I think are going through the licensing process. So this will be a great call for you to kind of fill in the gaps of what you're going through right now as you get ready to transition to starting writing business and protecting families. So Amy, you got carte blanche to ignore, fill in the gaps wherever I miss in, you always do. So I'm much appreciative of it. So what we'll cover today is our usual stuff here. I know there'll be a couple of other things that'll come out of this. First thing I wanted to mention before we get too far into this is there's going to be a new, I think it's called, whatever it's called, doesn't matter. FFL is going to be dropping a, Amy, you remember what that site is called or the app for recruiting or for onboarding?
I think it's like the next level or something.
Advanced or Advantage or whatever it's called. Anyway, regardless of the name, you guys are going to start seeing that information. They put it out there probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. There's going to be an easier way to onboard. So what I'm going to go ahead and put it out there for, even though I don't talk to anybody really at home office, Andy does. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there and just say, as we're going through the next evolution or transition of our recruiting process, that everybody just be a little patient. Because if you think about it now, we're getting ready to go to integrating 3 systems. At some point, this has to be cleaned up, but just to be patient. As Amy is going and attending meetings, as Tim and I and some of the rest of us are talking to Eric Kamadi and maybe even Dave. I reached out to Dave yesterday for a couple things in reference to recruiting. So just understand that those things are coming here very, very soon. So what we'll cover today is the usual suspects in reference to our process. And then if you guys have any questions or anything that you want to stick in there, please do. We'll cover the process at the end. We'll talk very quickly about our websites, the FFL Genesis website, and then the Join FFL Genesis website. We'll talk about commission and compensation, prosperity, Slack, aerial missions, bootcamp, AML, work spots. And that's what we'll cover today pretty rapidly. I know I talk fast sometimes, but if you guys have any questions or need me to back up or rewind, please let me, have me do that. Before we go any further, I wanted to make sure that I address this, and Amy, this is probably more appropriate coming from you than me. We've got a lot more people that are coming on, and I'm not stepping on anybody's feet here. Ramon, you've been doing an awesome job recruiting. Since you stepped into leadership, you've been doing a fantastic job of recruiting. So this isn't pointed at you or anyone else, but what I'm starting to see, because every time somebody new comes on, it comes to both Amy and I in a separate administrative email. A lot of people are not being added to Slack, or they're being added to Slack, but you're adding them, but they're not accepting. Amy, anything you'd add to that before I conclude with that?
No.
Okay, so here's the deal, guys. When you've shaken hands with that person and you're going through your standard protocol of what you normally do with them, we should be all doing the same thing. Because if Renee calls me and says, hey, can you cover this? I had something come up. Can you cover this interview for this person? We should be pretty much all doing the same thing. If you guys would like me too. We can do a mock interview at some point. Maybe if you guys want to see that, we'll do that next Wednesday. One of you guys can be the agent and we'll go through, a mock interview. We can record it and send it out to you guys. Renee and I did one, I guess it was last week before last, and I think I sent it out and then deleted it. I don't know why I did that, or thought maybe once I sent it out, it would be okay, and it deleted it. It was actually a good interview. But if you guys want to do that or see that, we'll get that out to you. What I'm getting at is getting people, if you try to get people added to Slack later on, it's harder. They're already in the mix of doing a bunch of things. They're trying to get their boot camp done and their AML and all those other things. It just makes a heck of a lot more sense to get them added right then and there and actually show them what they're going to go through with Excel. First of all, what that does is it clears things up for them, and they're already confused as it is anyway. A lot of times with the new agents that I bring on, I literally go step by step by step by step with them. They get the email from Amy 30, 45 minutes to an hour later, and they do the exact opposite of what I explained to them. I don't know why this process is confusing, even though we have this list that goes out to them. It just is. So let's just help ourselves out, get the people on Slack as soon as you're onboarding them. It's just going to help you. It's going to help them. It's going to get them in the process of what's going on when we have their meetings. So sorry for being long-winded there. It's just, that's what I'm starting to see us kind of backtracking on, if you will. Web CE has been, I think it's been a great transition for us, for those of you guys that are using it. Web CE is for AML, or is also what stands for anti-money laundering. And you have to have that with all of the carriers, but you'll have to do Prosperity separately because Prosperity does their own. But if you do the one with Web CE, that's going to cover all of the other carriers. It ranges anywhere from $9 all the way up to about 15, 16 bucks is what we've seen. Okay. Again, AML also stands for anti-money laundering, and you have to have that. Just simply go to webce.com, look up AML, anti-money laundering, take the course. It's very simple. I think Tim did it. I did it. I know a couple of you other guys did. I actually didn't even read the stuff and shouldn't say that, but I read the stuff, or didn't read it, went through, took a test and got a 90. So it's kind of a joke, but part of what the states make us go through. Let's see, Amy, anything HCMS related? Nope. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So let's, while I transition to covering our websites, I'll talk about commission really quickly. So when you bring someone on, it's kosher to have them at 10, 15, maybe even 20%. But here's the deal. If you're going to bring people on at 20%, you're probably going to be in a situation where you're buying them leads to help get them started. What most of us, I think, are doing, because we can see the sheets and stuff as they're coming in, as you're onboarding, looks like most people are doing that 10 to 15, which is perfectly fine. But if you're going to do 20, it's probably somewhere in the realm of you buying leads for them, or you have something like that set up. Now, what a lot of us have been doing, regardless of what the chart shows, what a lot of us, have been doing is, if somebody is, how do I say this? If somebody is going to be, they're not going to need a lot of help, then you put that 10, 10, maybe 15%. But if you put a 15 or 20%, hey, when they write their first 15,000 issue pay, bump them up 5%. When they get, 2 or 3 people on their team, and those 2 or 3 people are writing plus them, bump them 5%. And here's why. The first thing is the right thing to do. We all make very good comp. But the second thing is, if that person's recruiting, they're going to need that extra 5, 10 points so that they can bring their people on at a higher clip, as opposed to just bringing them on at 90%. So hopefully, if you guys have any questions about that, the leadership person that brought you on here, have that conversation with them. But this makes it much easier for all uniform and all doing the same thing. All right. So a couple things on here for our website from a recruiting standpoint. On the top right-hand corner, we have a YouTube video that's pretty much dropping every single day. So I hit the YouTube button. You can see the videos that are coming. There was one that was just released an hour ago. It's meetings like this. It's trainings. It's when we have sales reps that are on from different carriers. So all you guys can come back and resort back to this stuff. Our podcast, all those kind of things are going to be out there. All this does, guys, the only thing this does, because we're not going to be YouTube famous doing this, and that was never the point, but it's going to provide you with, if you want to learn about IULs, of course you can YouTube anything, Mutual of Omaha, Great Atlantic, whatever the case is. But this is our own content that's going out. It goes out there every single day. We have something coming out on here. So just so you guys know, as a resource for your agents, when you're recruiting, this kind of stuff is really important, That's the reason why we put it out, leadership team and I put this out here, because it gives us credibility. And when people see that, they're like, oh man, you guys are a big organization, or this is stuff that nobody else is doing. Might be small, but these type of things help with recruiting, gives us credibility, which I mentioned. So that's that. The second thing from a recruiting standpoint, this is our FFL Genesis website. So not to shift gears on you guys, but this is what a lot of our agents are using. And from what I understand, other agents are starting to use now as well, which is why we put it out there. But where you see it says state licensing requirements, if you have someone that is maybe they're coming on and they're already licensed and they're wanting to get licensed in other states, what the company has put together, which I think is amazing, you click on the state licensing, literally all 50 states are on here. So if you want to get licensed in Colorado, you simply click on how to get licensed, and it walks you through what you or your new potential teammate or what your new teammate needs to do to get licensed in that state. It's pretty simple stuff. So I wanted to point that out. Also, the Family First Life Bootcamp, that is also out here. So if somebody comes out here, or you copy the link and send it to them, here's the bootcamp. Okay. So when you send this information to them, they simply register. And if you have any problems, just let Amy or myself know. We'll have to reach out to Eric and get that unlocked if you ever have any issues with that, just in case you're confused, because that does happen from time to time. But what they should be doing from a boot camp standpoint is once they've passed their test, they've sent all their information in. From there, they should be doing, that's when they should be doing the boot camp after they've applied for their carriers. So I know it gets mundane with my voice just talking for 5-10 minutes straight. I'm going to pause and see if anybody has any questions. Boot camp, any questions about getting additional non-resident license? All right, perfect. So once you've shaken hands with the person, this is the information that will be completed by you, not the agent, will be completed by you so that you can get them in the system, and we can make sure that person is locked down. Home office knows who they are. And then also we can get them in the system so that they can also purchase leads when they're ready to do so. Pretty simple stuff. Remember, that is to be completed by you. That's the onboarding form. And when you first get started, if you come out here and you click where it says best business ever or custom rogue IMO link, you can create your own custom rogue IMO link. So if I were to put my first name, last name, email, and phone number, it's going to create this video. Sorry for swiping on you guys' eyes, but at the top here where it says view our opportunity, you can see at the very top of this, it actually shows my first name, last name, and says I've invited them to learn about our opportunity. When they come on here and they click get access, their first name, last name, the state that they're in, their email, phone number, when they hit submit, it's going to send them this video. So I'll go and show you that here in a second. It's going to send them the video, which is essentially the Rogue IMO. All right. Once they start watching that video, it's going to send you an email with all of the information that they just put in. First name, last name, state, email, phone number. And then in about 15-20 minutes, you can reach out to them and call them. Does anybody have any questions about that or how to set this up? Because I usually get 1 or 2 Slacks after this and go, how did you do this again? All right. And I get a couple times a week too. Where do I go to send a recruit if they're interested in looking at us? That's why I show this. And the cool thing about this, when they start watching the video at the very top, your first name, last name, phone number, and email that you put in the system will show up so they know how to reach out to you. All right, any questions about that as we move forward? Okay, perfect. So, some of you, yes, sir.
I know you said you would never do this again, but I got a new person. Could you let them in, please? The one I was telling you about late yesterday. Thank you.
All right. So this is our recruiting website, joinfflgenesis.com. The other site that we just referenced was just FFL Genesis. So this is the recruiting one. The other one is for you guys when you're in home or whatever the case is. So we've created this site so you didn't have to. It's very simple. That video that I was talking about is on here. So if they click your opportunity, you can see that. Guys, and regardless of my name being on there, if your new agent or potential agent comes on here and they look at this site, if they want to join the team and they click join the team, when they put their information in and put your information in, the recruit will obviously go to you. Okay, so we just created this so you guys don't have to pay for a website for recruiting and all those other things. All right, so you can see there's a couple really quick videos out here. There's Jake Conan, who will write $1 million again this year. So will Jonathan Persina. Just letting people know that the dream is real, right? You dream with your eyes open, you know. FFL overview. So this is the video that I was talking about a few minutes ago. And what I meant by that is when they click the video, when they click the button to watch the video, you'll get the information showing that this person has watched the Rogue IMO video. All right. What we provide: term, whole life, universal life annuities, and we'll very soon be adding Medicare supplement here over the next couple of months. How we do it: this is just some quick videos on what we do, like the in-home process. And then there's another 5-minute, if you want to share that one, which you can find on our website or YouTube. Just a quick 5-minute video that Sean put out there about what we do and how we do it. Our compensation breakdown. Obviously, everything's transparent here. Sean talking about our bonus program that was rolled out about a month ago. So now we have really, truly 8 or 9 ways that we get paid now with the bonus program, which is pretty cool. Virtual sales process. A lot of people are trying to transition to that, especially up here in the upper Midwest where it's getting ready to get cold. Some people are trying to do virtual. Matter of fact, 2 of my appointments today are virtual appointments. And they were just happened to be set up that way. Excuse me. I asked a client basically how they wanted to be closed, and they said virtual. So that's why I'm doing that. Both are over the phone. If you click the link there, start your virtual process here. Here's the virtual process that's been laid out. And I was on a meeting the other day, and they said they're going to be making some transitions to this for more training. But if you go out to YouTube and put in virtual sales, telesales, because they are 2 different things, virtual sales, telesales, et cetera, you're going to see all kind of videos. Matter of fact, I posted one yesterday with this guy here on the bottom right-hand side, who came from exterior sales and came here and went straight into telesales. And that's all he's done. I think the video, so he issued 20K last week, or I think it was like 9 days or something like that. So just showing you guys what's out here. And when you're going out and talking to your potential new agents, this is a place where you can send them that's going to give them a plethora of information that they can pull from and not have to go into multiple different places. Again, the last portion here where it says join the team, if they've gone through here and they're ready to get started, they can simply go in and put their name, email address, and then in that information box on the bottom, just put, hey, I'm interested, or, you know, Gregory Pitts invited me, or whatever the case is. When they hit your future starts here, we'll get an email address. We'll send it out to you. It'll come to you in a PDF format. That way, you know that your potential new teammate has looked at the information, and then we'll set up an interview process with the 3 of us, which I've done with most of you, a lot of you guys, not most of you. Does anybody have any questions about this site or how to use it? It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, very good. All right, so let's shift to Slack very quickly. I know this doesn't seem like a big deal at all, but the quicker you can get your teammates on Slack, and the quicker they understand what Slack is and how it works, the better off you're going to be. Again, I know we say it week in and week out, and you guys probably tune me out, but the sooner you get your agents and teammates on Slack, they're going to see all the good news flying around, especially if they're in the process of taking the test. Now, I've heard both sides. Some people say it's motivating. Some people say it gets annoying. It's up to you. But this is the information that we use, to communicate that, where we're not blasting you guys with text and email and Slacks and all that kind of stuff. We just try to keep everything simple. You guys have done an amazing job of, if you need something, slacking Amy or slacking Amy and I, and it keeps keeps communication flow in one place. And again, that's why you're not getting blasted and stuff as well. Very nice day, by the way, yesterday for the team. So just wanted to point that out. If you're wanting to add, I get this question, I know Amy does as well, add someone to the team, please make sure that you add them to the team. There's nothing worse than you saying, hey, John is just getting started with us, and everybody's saying, congratulations, John, good luck. Congratulations on passing your test and welcome to the team. And John's not on Slack. Just doesn't make any sense at all, right? So if you can get them on right when you shake hands with them and say, yes, they're coming on board, and yes, they're going to partner with us. Top left hand, now I'm on an iPad, so if you're on an Android device or maybe a laptop, your functionality might be a little different. But on the bottom left-hand portion of the screen, you'll see where it says add teammates. Okay. Before I do that, if you look all the way at the top, you're going to see the Velocity logo. You need to make sure that you're in the Velocity Slack. Okay, we're a subgroup in the Velocity Slack. So once you add them to ours, once you add them to, the Velocity Slack, all you do is simply add them here as well. So we're in the Velocity Slack, top left-hand corner. I'm going to simply click at the bottom left, add teammate, and it's going to give me a couple of options. The top one is email. You'll simply type their email in and hit the button, okay? Or you can click share your invite, which is the bottom link there. And what you do, if you click on that, it's going to allow you to text that information to them. It works, obviously, Apple to Android, Apple to Apple. Since I have an Apple product, it seems to work a little bit better. But once you send that invite to them, they're simply going, just so you know, they're going to click on it. It's going to ask them first name, last name, email address, I think, and it may be their phone number. It's going to send them an email, which they have to verify. And then once they verify, they're in. Once they come in, or once you've invited them and they're in, you're simply going to click on the top left-hand corner. And before I move any further, does everybody understand where I'm at? Or if you don't, please speak up, because this doesn't sound like a big deal until you get ready to add somebody. You'll be confused. And this is where we start getting the phone calls. Okay. So where it says Genesis, 123 members, I'm simply going to click on that. When I click on that, now you can see as I scroll up, there's a third from the bottom. It says add people. When you click on add people, you're going to say add to this channel. If you say new, you're going to literally start a new channel. You don't want to do that. So if we were to come out here and I was looking for Tim Belo, I'm going to type in Tim and there he is, but it says he's already in the channel. If he's not, I'm simply going to press on Tim's name. There'll be a squared circle there. I'm going to hit a check mark there, and then Tim is going to show up at the bottom of this thread, and it'll say Tim Belo is now a part of the Genesis thread. And then you can welcome them. But if you just simply blindly send them a link and don't make sure they're connected, I'm telling you guys, 8 out of 10 of those people, they're going to get busy. They're not going to do it. And then guess what? Now you're 2-3 weeks down the road, after they've passed their test, trying to get them to come back through. And now you're going to have to go back through and do it anyway. So you may as well do it right when they shake hands with you and say they're coming on board. Anybody have any questions on Slack? Any questions on Slack? Because I do this. Nobody says anything, and then I get blown up afterwards. Amy, anything you'd like to mention there?
Nope, you got it covered.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna start breaking this thing up in pieces. I know you guys are probably getting tired of hearing my voice, but next we're gonna cover prosperity. All right, I'm gonna try to keep this very simple. So when you have a new teammate that starts after they've passed their test, you are the one that has to send them their prosperity link. Okay, it doesn't come from home office. It doesn't come from Amy. And right now, this is the only carrier that we have that has to be accessed this way. Okay, so we've put the step-by-step, the 1 through 7 steps that you have to put together.
Can I stop you?
You sure can.
CFG is done this way as well. I'm sorry,
Okay.
UHL.
I was about to say, you sure? Okay, got it. So, and I'm going to say this, and I already know what's going to happen. Is every week, Amy will say something like that, and then it happens. Please don't blast Amy with that you need UHL now. Please don't. That's another thing. We all think we need all these carriers, and we don't. You really, really don't. When you're getting started with your new agents are getting started with 10 carriers. Let them write some business first. You're just going to convolute the system. Let them write some business with those first 10 carriers they have. And if they get into a situation, then you can go ahead and help them get the other carriers. There's always another option. There really is. But again, I know Amy just brought up UHL. Please don't blast her and say you need UHL now. Most of you guys probably don't even know they exist or what they do. I'm just asking you guys not to do that, please. If you need them, we'll get them for you. All right, thank you, Amy. So the process is very simple. That's why we've got it set up this way. So if you need this to be able to set yourself up on prosperity, please Slack Amy and I, and we'll make sure you get a copy of these instructions from 1 to 7. All right, I'm going to try to keep this very, very extremely simple, guys. But if I convolute it, just tell me to back up. All right, let's start at the 135% comp. Okay, The 135% comp that you're getting from Family First Life, the maximum that Prosperity will pay you is 120. Okay, we'll make sure I say that again. If your compensation's at 135, because that's what you've earned or that's what you've moved up to with FFL, the maximum that Prosperity is going to pay is 120. Where you see the 6.75, those are years 2 through 5. And then where you see 3.75, those are years 6 through 10. Keep in mind, you're only going to be paid that, those renewals or residuals, if you will, for 10 years, only on whole life policies. Prosperity just happens to be for a reference to what we write with Prosperity is whole life. Okay. So going across the page where you see 9-month advance, that's where your 75% advance comes into play. And the maximum they will advance is $3,000. So what that means is you go out and you help a family and it's $6,000. The maximum very first advance that they're going to send you is $3,000. After your client has paid in, so let's say they're paying $500 a month and they make 6 payments, that means they've paid in $3,000, which you've been advanced. Then Prosperity will start to pay you above and beyond that. By the way, that works exactly the same with every company except Great Western and AIG. Just kind of a pro tip for you guys.
Did we lose you?
Okay, I thought it was me, but it's not.
I just called him. He didn't know he was not able to be heard.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm on my other device as this one, other one starts to do its thing. So thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. Let me get back in here really quick. So you guys can see, hopefully it's going to let me maneuver it. If not, I'll talk to this when my device is getting open back up. So basically, guys, what happens is, yeah, I think there's people telling me they got kicked off. I'm not sure why this happens.
Recording in progress.
All right. Oh, Kaylee got kicked out too, so that worked out. All right, you guys see my screen again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Amy. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with this technology, but anyway, we'll keep moving. So 125 is the maximum that you'll be compensated, 7% for years 2 through 5, and then so on and so forth. So the only companies that will be different are AIG and Great Western, because they do, their compensation might be a little bit low in reference to what they advance to us, just so you guys know. And I think, just so you guys know this, Tim, if you're still there, if you could confirm this, I believe Transamerica's is $1,500. Is that accurate?
You know, that is actually not accurate.
Okay.
I know they say that, but on one deal that I got paid like $1,700. So, you know, so, but
Might
that's
need
on
to-
my list today to find out.
Okay, I knew you said you were going to look at that. I know that was a few days
Yep.
ago, but
Yep.
once we Tim and I talk all the time, we'll verify that next week if Tim, if you can find the information by then. So just want to make sure
And
we're giving
also
this
find out, make sure on when we're doing the final expense, because I did hear, but I want to verify it before I really push it out there, that if people use Direct Express, Transamerica will give you an advance, whereas Prosperity, my understanding, pays as earned.
As earned, yeah. So what he's saying for those of us that are new, if you use Direct Express, which is primarily used by people that are on Social Security disability, let's say they were to, let's say it was a $3,000 policy, right? That's what they're paying, $300 a month, and it's $3,600. Regardless of how much your commission should be or will be in the end, the maximum that they're going to give you is 50, or they're going to pay you as earned, which means every month that that person pays, you pay, or you get paid. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that that's what as earned means. As they pay, you get paid. All right, here's the steps. I'm going to walk you guys through these steps for time's sake. I'm just going to show them to you instead of walking you through step by step with this. But just understand the advance. Again, some of you guys, depends upon where you're at in the country, it might say 3,500. Just click the 3,000. That's the maximum advance we're going to get anyway. All right. So I'm just going to click on the insurance admin link. That's right there in our notes. And then I'm going to sign in. And I want to point this out too. It says benchmark administrators. Just understand that that is still Prosperity. Don't overthink it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And on the top, once this thing decides to do what it's going to do, in the top left-hand portion of the screen, you're going to see contracting. You're going to click on contracting, and you're going to click on invitation codes. Now, again, we have this step by step in the other window that we were just in. Okay. So for instance, I'm just going to do the 100 because it's just simple. I'm going to split my screens here. Hopefully this isn't too small for you guys. So where you see the very first one where it says FFL 100%, that's the very first box there. Okay. So you can see, click on the link, click on contracting, click on invitation codes. Those are the first couple steps. I'm going to show you guys two things here, and then I'm going to make the screen bigger so you can see it. All right. If you go down to where it says 100% on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see it says 85%, 5%, 2%. Now, if you'll go on the left-hand side of the screen and look up where it says New Vista, it says 85, 5, and 2. I just wanted you guys to see that. Okay. If you keep going to the right, where in the notes where it says advanced 9-month, 3,000, that's settle. That settle means when you get paid and vested immediately. That means you own your business from day one and you're vested immediately. And FFL and your business partner, nobody can take that from you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our screen here on the right so you guys can see this now. So let's stay in that 100% tier. Where you see it says contracting link. If you click that contracting link, it's simply going to give you a link that you can drop in an email and send out to your new agent. If you click email, it's going to open up an email box, and then you can just simply type whatever you want to put in there and send it to your new agent. Okay. Now let's go to the bottom of the screen, because the first time you come out here and you click invitation codes, all this information that you see in these boxes will not be here. This is what you're going to see. All right. So hopefully this isn't too small for you guys, but I just want to point this out for you. So what you're going to do, if you're looking at the steps up top, you're simply going to click on whatever commission level that you're going to put in there. Okay. So remember, if we use 100%, Prosperity says the maximum they're going to pay is 85. So I'm going to click 85. And now you can see it says 85 year 1, 5,000 year 2 through 5, and then 5%. And then it says year 6 through 10, 2%. Does anybody have any questions about that as I move through? Because I'm going to speed up here in a second. Perfect. All right. So now that we've done that, we're going to go down here. We're going to click on the information here, 90%. We don't use that product, but you have to fill in the blanks. It's already at 9 months settled. And if I click on that, the maximum is 3,000. Even if it says 3,500, just click the 3,000. It's going to give you the options here. You're going to click fully vested. And then this is the 100%, right? So this 85% represents 100% with FFL. Okay. So here's the deal. I'm simply going to come out here and I'm going to put FFL 100%. And that's going to remind me, if I'm starting a new one of my new teammates at 100%, that's going to remind me when I come out there that that's what I want to do. If I were to click generate code, this is what that's going to look like at the very top of the screen. So when you're bringing a new agent on, after you set these codes up, all you have to do is come out here. If they're 100%, that's what you're going to compensate them, copy the link, send it to them, and then they do the rest. And it's very self-explanatory. Keep in mind, with Prosperity, you will have to complete their anti-money laundering, also known as AML. All right. Anybody have any questions about that as we move forward? All right. So far we've covered website, commission, or compensation level, if you will, Prosperity, Slack. We've covered the boot camp. We've talked about anti-money laundering, and we only have a couple more things, and then we'll cover the process from top to bottom if you guys don't have any further questions. All right, for those of us that are going to be doing the ZipRecruiter ads, I talked directly to Dave yesterday. He's getting us set up with someone else. I did text him again last night. I obviously haven't heard from him yet this morning. So this is actually ridiculous at this point, but I'll get to the bottom of it today. And whoever we're supposed to be assigned to, I'm going to see if he can't get that person to us so we can get those ads running. Amy, I don't know if you saw this or not, but the FFL recruiting link that we're a part of, apparently there was another issue with ZipRecruiter yesterday. I've had some luck with this as well. I might just do a quick video on it, on how to use Facebook from a recruiting standpoint, how to use LinkedIn from a recruiting standpoint as well. And maybe we'll break that down instead of doing this every single week, even though I think this is extremely important for you guys to start getting, speeding up your recruiting at a pretty inexpensive clip, if you will. All right, before we transition out of Prosperity, does anyone have any questions about Prosperity? Going once, twice. Okay, so if you want the information that I was just showing you, this right here, just Slack Amy and I, and we'll get it over to you. All right, last couple things before we go over the full process here and get you guys about your day. I wanted to cover, sorry about you guys' eyes again. Yeah, we talked about the Rogue IMO link. We talked about all that. Error and omissions. Your teammates will need E&O. All right. So just keep in mind, under our website, FFL Genesis, it's under the additional resources, 360, very inexpensive. Go all the way up, I think, to 2 million with them. Just depends on what you're looking for, but it's pretty self-explanatory as well. Simply have your agents come out here, get your error and omissions, fill out the forms, they get the coverage. You get your certificate of coverage right there on the spot. Pretty simple stuff. Let's see, work spots. Amy, anything that you'd add while we're moving through this?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about you guys' eyes again. So work spots, guys, if you're not aware of what work spots is, $99 a month, get you access to every work spots office across the country, get you access to free printing in the office, high-speed internet, snacks, just all that stuff. Access to offices where you can come and dial. The rental car discounts, 50% off of rental car discounts with National and Enterprise, Home Depot, Best Buy, Adidas, and they just keep adding stuff to the list. So first of all, it's a write-off. Second of all, if you print anything at all, which I do for leads, it's pretty much a no-brainer if you have an office that has printing and all that. Ours does. But it's a great resource for you to have. As Tim says, keep you next to the fire and being around people that are doing, trying to do this thing at a really run at this for a career. Those are the best people to be around, not naysayers and people that are tell you they're going to do it not. So highly recommend work spots. Again, $99 a month. You can write it off and just attach yourself to your local office and make sure you're using that office for dial days and other resources to get better. All right. So now let's go through. Let me take myself off the camera here. Put myself on, I should say. All right. So we'll cover the process now. So when somebody gets started, again, licensed candidate, Amy sends this information out. The onboarding and everything I said is in this pamphlet or brochure, or whatever you want to call this. Okay. This is sent out to everyone that's going through the licensing or completed the licensing and doing the onboarding process. Guys, please, when you have new agents come on, please, first of all, you should take a look at this and read it. It's not very long. There's pictures and everything. So this shouldn't be that complicated. But I think as humans, we make it complicated because we want to take the path of least resistance. And believe it or not, it's actually going through this information. So we walk
Can I
you
say
through
something?
it. You absolutely can.
So yesterday Ramon and I were chatting and, he made a suggestion on that, just from a newer, fresher eye perspective. So I went in and made a change to that form as well as moved a bunch of other stuff around to make it flow a little bit better. And then I sent it to him to review. Again, I know this forward and backward, so having a fresh set of eyes sometimes helps with those processes that you're familiar with. So he said it, it flowed much better. So if anybody would like the updated copy of that, let me know and I will send it to you.
Perfect. And thank you, Ramon, for doing that. I know we have people that have suggestions every week. And that's what we're here, guys. Like Amy said, we look at this stuff. I could do this literally in my sleep. But if there's a more efficient or more effective way to do this, please let us know. This is a kind of an evergreen process. So thank you, Ramon, for doing that. I know Christy and Renee have both made some changes or suggestions. I know Mark and Tim have as well. So that's what we're all here. Thank you. So let me see. I'll just throw this out there because I think it's important, especially as we start to move, and it makes me shudder a little bit. But as your agents are starting to get their agent codes, if it's sent to me, I usually copy it to Amy, and then you as the new agent. All your carriers, your agent codes have to be put into HCMS. Okay, I'm going to say that again. All of your carriers have to be put into HCMS. Now, Amy has to put in Prosperity, CFG, Royal Neighbors, Liberty Bankers, UHL, and Gerber. And I think that's it. Keep in mind, as you guys, if we get the code in, if you have any questions, just Slack us. But the rest of the codes you have to enter in. I'm sure at some point they're going to come through and say, hey, if you are not connected to your person in HCMS, you're not going to get paid. So just keep that in mind. You need to make sure that people are putting their codes in. I think we're doing a much better job of that. Go ahead, Amy.
I don't know if everybody knows this or nobody know, I don't know, but for AIG, you usually get two numbers. You get a writing number and a recruiting number. The recruiting number is what goes into HCMS. Makes no sense. I know sometimes not a lot does around here, but the recruiting number goes into HCMS. So just double check your AIG. Make sure that the recruiting number is what you have in HCMS. Why they send to, they just do, just to confuse us. So
yeah, pretty much. And another little quick tip to that. Thank you, Amy. I always forget to bring that up anyway. So thank you. Sometimes, I don't know why it happens. It's happened to me twice. They've actually flipped the numbers. Home office has done it, and it screwed some stuff up when I tried to go write an app. It got fixed pretty quickly, but if you ever run into that, just make sure you reach out to us and we'll help you get through it. So now that I said that, it'll probably happen to one of you guys. Hopefully it doesn't. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Make sure we're doing a much better job of making sure that our people are putting this stuff into HCMS. All right, so let's cover the process here, and then we'll go from there. So you've met with said agent. They've decided to shake hands, partner with you. They're gonna come on board, and you're gonna go through the onboarding process with them. So let's just say for right now, because remember we have that other process that's getting ready to come in from home office. This person is not licensed. Very simple. You're going to go on, you're going to complete the onboarding form on our website, right? FFL Genesis, you're going to go down to the onboarding form and you are going to complete that information, which you're going to compensate their agent. I can show you guys this on the screen, but most of you guys have seen it before. First name, last name, all the way through. Make sure that if they have a middle name, you put it there. If they don't, some of you guys have put an asterisk, some of you guys have put NA. That's fine, but you can't leave it blank because the form won't allow you to send it through. Once you hit the button there, that form comes to Amy and I. We send it out to you so you have a copy of it, clean PDF format, and then that starts the process. What happens is Amy will put them in the system, the FFL system, to make sure that no one else can try to recruit them away from you. That's the first thing, because we're recruiting thousands of agents a week. And then the second thing is it starts the process of sending out the email to them so that they can start working on their exam information, okay? I am gonna share one more thing on the screen. Anybody on here that partnered with me directly, and I've just added this over the last probably 5 to 6 months of actually showing people this. So one of the things that you wanna make sure you do is actually take them out to Excel solutions, okay? When you're taking them out to Excel, you're simply going to walk them through the process, guys. It takes 30 seconds. I usually ask them, hey, can you write this down, even though it's going to be in the information that you're going to get from Amy? A lot of people forget this, and this is the first part of you getting started. Okay, you don't want to click on the wrong thing here and start studying for the wrong stuff. Ask them if they get it, they say yes. You're simply going to click on Enroll Now. The very first option is English, unless they speak Spanish and that's what they want to do. And then they're going to pick their state. So right now we're going to pick Missouri. And then you can see the options. People get tripped up here, you guys, for whatever reason. Now, they can do the life and health. It's going to take them a little bit longer. The test is probably going to be 30, 40 questions longer. But I recommend that they just go ahead and get the health, or excuse me, get the life now. And then once they get started, if they want to transition back, then they can do that. The reason that is you want your agent to get started as quickly as they possibly can. That life and health is pretty daunting. It's a lot more information. People get frustrated and then they don't do it. Okay. You have very few people that will do both and actually get it done in that 2-week period of time and get started. All right. Which brings me to my next point. I know you guys are probably rolling your eyes at this. Give your guys 2 weeks. If you give them any more than that, the chance of them actually coming on board is very, very low. It's just how it works. And everybody on here that's recruited somebody that's let it gone beyond 2 weeks, the people that actually come on and do this after 2 weeks, it's so low, it's not worth your time. No disrespect to you or them, but life happens. The studying for the test happens. It sucks. It's boring. It's not exciting. And then they get distracted. So if you give them 2 weeks, which I think is plenty of time, especially to get through the life only, they'll be in good shape. Now they're going to click on the $199. And then what's going to happen is they also have to click go to cart. And you can see the discount code on the left-hand portion of the screen. In the welcome email that they will get from Amy, it will have a discount code. That discount code makes this at checkout $0, which means we're picking that up and covering it for them. Use that as an advantage. Not all companies do that. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal because it's just something we do every day. That's a huge deal. You've just saved them $200 on $1 million opportunity, or multi-million-dollar opportunity, really. So once they put that code in, please make sure you tell them, make sure there's no space in the front or the back of that code. Otherwise, it's going to give them an error, and then they're going to be reaching out to you and reaching out to Amy and everybody else. Okay? Pretty simple. Anybody have any questions about that? All right, perfect. It'll make it 0. They're going to click proceed to checkout. They're going to create username, password, and they can start studying. Pretty simple. Since I'm already sharing my screen, I'll show you guys very, very quickly. When you get that new agent that's coming on board, this is the onboarding form that I was speaking of. Everybody in our organization has been put on this onboarding form, and that's how we track birthdays, all that other stuff as well, and making sure if we're sending out a card or if we need to send something out to you, we can resort back to this because we have the information, right? There's no social security number or anything like this, very basic information. Every line has to be completed. All right. Very good. Okay, so you've gone through, you've sent the information to your new agent, you've given them 2 weeks. Amy's going to send that, Amy Jenkins will send that out. They go through the stuff, stay in contact with them every 24, 48 hours. That does help keep people motivated as best you can to get through it. Now, if they are already licensed, okay, and let me take a half step backwards. The person is not licensed, they've passed their exam. You need to let Amy know that they've passed their exam. You can Slack Amy and I. Once you've done that, then Amy will send out the other email, which will have the information that I'm going to cover now. Okay. So when Amy gets that information she sends it out, all right, that they passed the test, they're simply going to complete their information for HCMS. After they complete the information for HCMS, it will then send them a second email letting them know that they've completed the HCMS onboarding portion. Then they're going to get a third email from HCMS. That third email is going to have a link that's going to send them to Surance Bay or SureBay. So just so you know, Surance Bay, SureBay is the exact same thing, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, FFL Home Office Corporate is working on another app that's going to help make it easier for us to onboard. But for the time being, what's coming up is we're going to have 3 different portions that we're going to be using. That's what's on the street right now is we're going to be using. So just be patient with that. So third email from HCMS that will then provide a link to Surance Bay or SureBay. You're going to fill out what's called the big 3. Okay. Americo, AIG, Mutual of Omaha. Nothing else. Now, Amy, you can step on my feet anytime here. They're going to see other options on there to apply for. Please have a conversation with your agents. All it does is slows down their appointment. And the more it slows us down, the further they get away from getting started. They're going to get bored. They need to make money. They're going to find something else to get, that they can get started quicker. So please, this is for you to make sure you're growing your team as quickly as you can. When they go to Surance Bay, Americo, AIG, Mutual of Omaha, keep in mind, you're going to send them Prosperity. So you got to create your links to send them to Prosperity. Now, just so everybody understands this, after you've sent them, or they've checked the box for those, the big three, and you've sent them Prosperity, once they've completed that, they have to go back to 8CMS. In 8CMS, they will click on the button, and they're going to see a bunch of options, and people go out there and they click these options, and they don't pay attention to what you explained to them or what the form shows them, and they click all of the carriers, and then Amy has to decline it. It's a waste of time, right? And the home office is going to decline it as well. When they go into 8CMS for the second time, they're going to complete American Amicable, also known as AMAM, Foresters, Aetna, John Hancock, Great Western, and Transamerica. Okay, so I know everybody wants all the, some of our teammates want all the carriers. So you have Americo, AIG, John Hancock, Mutual of Omaha, Prosperity, AMAM, Foresters, Aetna, John Hancock, Great Western, and Transamerica. That's 10 carriers for someone to get started with. You really don't need any more than that. So does anybody have any questions about that process? All right, I'm going to throw this last caveat. I'm going to swing back to Amy, and then if you guys don't have anything else, I will let you go. American Amicable, also known as AMAM, has a sister company called Occidental. Okay, Occidental Life, if you have agents that are in any of these 6 states, you need to make sure you're licensed in these states in order for you to receive overrides. States are Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Vermont, Rhode Island, and Vermont. I almost put Rhode Island and Vermont together. I almost made a 52nd state. So Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Vermont. If you have agents that are selling in those states, in order for you to receive an override, you have to have a license there. Now, this is my last thing that I'll throw out this morning, and I'm going to swing back to Amy. There are certain states that do not require you have a non-resident license to receive overrides for those particular agents. I would tell you if you have an agent in a state that's going to be selling, I would tell you just to cover yourself and get the license. You're going to write it off anyway, and you want to make sure that you're being compensated for helping that agent in that state. Some of us have recruits all over the country, and it just makes sense to get that license. If you're going to do telesales or virtual sales, you're going to need it anyway in those particular states. So one professional to another, if you're going to have somebody in the state, I wouldn't take the chance. I would get the license. Amy, anything that you would close out with?
No.
Very good. Okay. Any questions before we let you guys go? Awesome.
This is a side note, Corey. I just posted on the Slack line today at 10 a.m. Central Time, our time. Brendan Kitchings is going to basically walk through, it just says walk through his journey from selling exclusively face-to-face to writing 20,000 a week over the phone. And again, I think that's hosted by Trey Honeycutt, but if you guys got some time at 10 o'clock today, that would be a phenomenal one to jump onto.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tim. He's got a couple of other ones that within the last couple of months that he put out, a couple we've even posted. But yeah, everything that Brandon is doing is just absolutely fantastic. And him and his guys are, they've been taking travel trips. They just did one, I think it was 3 of them that went on a travel trip that was in person. They wrote 60K in, I think, 5 days or something like that. Something crazy. But anyway, thanks, Tim, for putting that out there. Thanks for sharing it on Slack as well. Amy, thanks again. Appreciate you very much. Guys, bye for now. Be great. And remember, this is the last day of the week. So let's have a strong start to December.
Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, everybody.